All right, let's get started. We have a lot of work to do today, but first, let's do a little bit of redecorating. So why not? Now, let me introduce you. New segment here, accomplishment of the day. Now, let's go ahead and get this up. I'm sorry, but always remember, it's going to be here. You just won't be able to see it. Now, let's go ahead and throw this up on the board. And let me explain, because I'm sure everyone did great things today, but let me bring your attention to one thing. 1, 0, 0. Now, I did make a little promise. Atticus, my 100th view on that JJ video. Thank you. You will see him soon. That is to come. Now, speaking of the future, things are going to start to look a lot different on the channel after this video. Now, I am leaving for Iowa tomorrow, and actually, that is why we are here today. I will be giving you a very simple tutorial for a free $1 billion. All you have to do is follow my picks, and Warren Buffett will slide that right into your bank account, because you are about to see a perfect bracket today. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Future for the channel, I won't say too much, but look forward to some changes, some positive changes. Now, 100 viewers. This is only the first of many milestones, but this is a great one. So it's going to remain as our accomplishment of the day. Now, let's stick on the theme of numbers, because I have a couple more for you. Let's start down here. 3. 3 top 3 defensive ratings for my West Virginia Mountaineers. And you know who makes all that happen? Now she's actually joining me. Hello, JJ. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you could be with us. Now, tell me a little bit about what it was like. Well, sorry, this is her talking. Well, I'm like that. Yeah, you are. Now, guys, I don't know if you can tell. Just saying. I painted this myself. If you couldn't tell, I have some skill. All right, so JJ, you were going to be right here giving us good luck, helping us out today. We may see her again. We will see. Anyways, 3. Now, isn't that something? Top 3 in the nation. 3 separate categories. Now, listen, I know. But I want you guys to make money too. So I promise, I vow, I swear that I will be 100% unbiased. I am making the right picks, and you guys, I want you guys, I love you guys, and I want to see you guys grow with me. Grow your wallets by $1 billion. All right, 3. Now I have 2 more numbers for you. 8. Now, what does 8 mean? I'll tell you what. 8 weeks spent in the top 25 AP pool for my Mountaineers. Now, 8, you must be wondering, I know that's a little low, considering we were putting 50 on other people's heads. 50 more, should I add, 90 to 40. That was a consistency for us, and we only spent 8 weeks on top. So you know what that means? I have 2 more numbers for you. A little one right here, 17 and 9. 17 total weeks, which means we were snubbed for 9 weeks out of the season. Unacceptable, but it's okay, because this next week is gonna, they're gonna see. All right, now we can finally move on. So we will leave this here, and it will just help encourage us. Now, obviously, we're going to take statistics. We're going to take all that into consideration. We're not going to sit here, and we're not just going to be like, oh, All right, now, it's time to get serious. Let me bring you over to the bracket. And if you were following along, now is the time to do so. All right. Now let's get started. Now, now we are going to go ahead and start in region 1. Okay. Now, guys, I know some of these are going to be a little bit obvious, so I'm not going to waste your time. I will try and explain myself if I can, but I'm not going to try and waste too much time here. So obviously, South Carolina is going. No, guys, I promised you, and I intend to keep that promise. 100% serious. South Carolina is moving on. Now, North Carolina and Michigan State. I will tell you guys a little sneak peek. I got North Carolina winning the men's. Now, what does that tell you about the women? Absolutely nothing. Michigan State all the way. We're riding with the Spartans. With the Spartans. Now, all right. If you guys didn't know, ESPN actually lets you preview these matchups, and it will update for the new ones. So I'm going to ignore that for the first round, but we might look into it moving forward. So anyways, let's move on. Now, Big 12 bias. You might call it glazing. It's not what it is, guys. The Big 12, you guys have to understand, there's nobody like the Big 12. Like, if you don't play in the Big 12, you just don't play in the Big 12. Right, JJ? Yeah. See, she runs the Big 12, actually. Yeah. Anyways, easy, guys. Oklahoma's going. Now let's go ahead and speed run a couple of these. Indiana, easy. Nebraska. Now they have that absolute sharpshooter on the men's team, but it's about the only thing they have in the entire state of Nebraska. So we're going to go ahead and throw in that first upset right here. All right, let's keep going. Now, this one I will have to open. Eastern Washington. Raise your hand if you've heard of it before. Guys, I've been on the Eastern Washington train. Like, I know ball. Like, you guys have to understand that I know ball. I'm not even going to have to explain this because you guys just need to trust me because I know. It's Eastern Washington, guys. Oregon State is not all that. Number 3 might as well be like how many points they're going to put up. Like, I don't know. All right. I'm going to rattle off a couple. Marquette, Notre Dame. And now you know what? Let's just continue. Let's continue through Region 1. Now, South Carolina, Michigan State. Let's not waste time here. South Carolina is moving on. Indiana, Oklahoma. This is a close one. Now, this is where we're going to have to move into it because now this is very interesting. Let's see their top 2 players. 14, 20, 12, 16. Now, obviously, these numbers don't tell you everything. It's only their top 2 players. Now, if you look at the Kansas one on the other side, McCullough is still there as their top player, and he is not going to be in this tournament. So thank God. I mean, that'd be nice if, our men. Look, our men, we're on the come up, guys, but that's for the future. All right. Now, the interesting thing about this website shows you everything. It shows you history. It gives you a little description. Now, I will say I've done a little bit of research. I wanted to be prepared, guys. I wanted to make sure that I was bringing you the best possible content because I need to give you guys the best chance. Now, so I've read through this, I've compared it, and so with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and move on through this division, and we're gonna go ahead and just get through it. So I have Indiana over Oklahoma, and next. Now, guys, Eastern Washington is a dangerous looking team. I'm just going to keep it a buck. There's a lot going on here, guys. There's a lot going on here to about. They are excellent on defense. Defensive boards, offensive boards, lowest turnover rate in the country. Guys, for a 14 seed with the lowest turnover rate in the country. Thank God they don't have to play my Mountaineers because that number would plummet. Anyways, we aren't in that part of the bracket yet. Eastern Washington is we're going to ride. We're going to ride with Eastern Washington, guys. Until, they had a good run, guys. They had a good run. Now, obviously, South Carolina. And look, I know what you guys are saying. They're undefeated. Guys, what does that even really matter? Like, they hit a buzzer beater, They could not be undefeated. Like, for example, I'm just gonna name like some random team. I don't know. Like, what's the 8 seed in Region 2? I don't know. Let's see. Where is Region 2? Oh, it's up here. 8. Okay. So, okay, we'll use the Wet Mountaineers as an example. See, the Mountaineers, I actually envy them because they kind of got screwed over in every single one of their losses. It low-key just wasn't fair because, those Big 12 refs, guys, whatever. You got to understand. These games, they don't want to see the better team win. All right? They're in it for the money. But you got to understand, like, we have money makers too, guys. We have money. I'm taking Notre Dame in the upset over South Carolina, ending the perfect season. I mean, guys, let's be honest. They're not winning it all anyway. Okay. That's honestly enough to be said. Now, these next two, the region 4 and 3, we are going to go ahead and go quickly. I'm just going to kind of explain my thinking behind things and just kind of see where we're at. So, the biggest thing I've been hearing is Texas. I don't like Texas, obviously. Thank you. But there's no denying that they are going to wipe essentially this entire region. But let's hold off on that for now. So obviously we'll go with Texas. We'll ride. And unfortunately for Alabama, the Seminoles are just a much more put together team. So we're going to have Florida State moving on here. And then let's move on to our next big upset. Now, South Dakota State. This is one we should look at. I want to bring to your attention this number right here. 7.7 rebounds per game. You see, that's an impressive number. The 6.5, that's not very impressive. Okay, but I'm gonna be honest, guys. You guys want to really talk about an impressive number? You guys want to talk about 3 impressive numbers back to back? That's all I have to say. Let's move on. I have South Dakota State in the upset over Utah. All right, let's just rattle some of these off. Gonzaga. We'll get Tennessee. We'll ride with the Wolfpack. Now, Iowa State. It's a very scary looking team. I believe they played well in the 12 tournament. They're 7 seeds, so that would stand. But unfortunately, their season is going to be cut short by the absolute powerhouse, which is who we are going to have coming out of this in the end, because I don't like Texas against a team that they see so rarely. And Stanford is good. Stanford is going to be a powerhouse in this tournament, and you guys can put your billion on that. Anyways, let's just keep going. Gonzaga, Texas, and of course, Stanford is who we're going to have coming out of here. So, would you look at that? It's going to be a battle of the 2 seeds in the Final Four, but we will come back to this. All right, Region 3. This one, there's not a whole lot to be said. Juju, she is very talented, and she is going to do very well in the tournament. Unfortunately, you're going to see a bit of a pattern here. I don't trust these big teams. And is there a reason for that? Yes, because everything I do is logical, statistical, and that's just how I run my life. So yes, do I want to explain it? Not really. You guys just got to trust me because obviously I do know what I'm saying. USC, moving on. Now, the next matchup, bit of a toss-up, but realistically, it's an 8 and a 9 versus a 1. We'll go Kansas, and USC is going to come out of there. Now, I like Baylor. We're going to keep them. We're going to ride with Baylor. I will say, this next matchup, I spent the longest time looking at this. We are going to come back because I need to explain my thoughts. So, let's just keep moving. This should be pretty simple. Ooh, actually, this should not be pretty simple. Let's put Syracuse on the back burner. Now, UConn, yes. Now, Duke Richmond, I want to bring your guys' attention to something here. If it will, yes, their Duke's very last game against Richmond, 30 points. 30 points. So, yeah, let's go ahead and let's go ahead. Ohio State. I have Ohio State over Duke. And now it's time to talk about this Syracuse game. Now, I don't know if you guys were really hip with the Mountaineer culture last year, but there's a special lady transferred out, unfortunately. But hey, we are happy to see her succeeding at Arizona. And let us say, she is hot right now. They are on a absolute heater, and they are going to continue that for Syracuse. Massive upset in the first round. Yes, they do have to make it through the play-in, the first four, excuse me. But I do not see that as an issue for Isis Bay. Isis Bay, she learned, granted, she learned everything she knew from the real talent on the team. But the issue is that UConn is not going to let her do what she wants. Syracuse, she's going to have an absolute. Syracuse is going to be like a playground for ISIS because she's a Mountaineer through and through, and we're gonna cheer her on, and we are going to absolutely love the show that she puts on. Unfortunately, UConn will unravel that, and I indeed have them going through Ohio State. Now, Ohio State, I love Ohio State. They have the weakest basketball program I think I have ever seen. It's UConn. Now, Virginia Tech, Marshall. These two teams, I looked. They seem so identical to me. These are almost the same exact team when you really look at it. Now, yes, Marshall isn't necessarily putting up the same offensive numbers, but you really have to look at just like the quality of like these wins. See, look at Virginia Tech. They are not looking super great. And yes, they kept it close with Iowa. However, that's the type of thing that you don't want to see going into a tournament. Now you go to Marshall. Yes, it's Chattanooga. Okay, but come on. They are coming off the almost exact opposite streak that VT is coming off of. It's essentially one difference. And when you look at this, first of all, this number is about to be 8 because we're riding with the herd. Anyways, these teams are essentially identical. So my thinking was it doesn't necessarily matter who I pick because I will take either one of them over Baylor. Unfortunately, Juju is going to put her kiss on both of their seasons. They will not be able to stop anybody from behind the line. That is their biggest weakness. Now, USC is going to move on. And guys, I told you, you're going to see a bit of a pattern here. I don't like the 1 seeds, especially USC. They're way too inexperienced. Now, they have time. Juju's a freshman. They have time. They got it next year. It's UConn. It's the Huskies. Now, the Final Four is looking almost filled. We have one more spot. And now is the time where we really need to buckle down and get serious, guys. Now is the time that we need to put our thinking caps on. And we are going to get serious, logical, deductive, and any other adjective that I can think of. Now, how about we start from the bottom? Just I don't know, just to change things up a little bit. We're gonna rattle this off because frankly, this should be the most obvious. UCLA, Creighton, LSU. Now, here's another upset. MTSU over Louisville. Louisville is looking very weak to me. Looking very weak, especially. So here's what you have to understand. You have to take these numbers with a grain of salt because they play in very different conferences. However, yeah, you guys know how I feel about this. So I am going to go ahead and take that as a pretty easy pick there. MTSU, we are riding. Unfortunately, Angel Reese is going to go ahead and she's not going all the way. I'm going to spoil it for you guys now. UCLA, LSU. Now, who could they possibly be playing? Well, let's find out. Now, you see, this team, I'm not really sure why they're even in the tournament because as far as I'm concerned, they should be disqualified because their wins, I don't like to throw around the word illegitimate all the time, but you're not going to tell me that you're going to beat JJ Quinterly twice. Like, see, and by the way, guys, they didn't actually. It was rigged. You guys got to understand because I'm not even being biased here. Like, if you were at that game, you would understand that it was rigged. See, we were the better team and we should have won. And they decided, they said, you know what, we're going to send you all to a neutral site. And that neutral site is going to be 2 hours away from Kansas State. So good luck, guys. And then that team of refs came in. You know what they did? Oh no, Ioka, somebody touched her. Oh my gosh, she's so fragile. Guys, what are we going to do to protect her? Oh my God. You know what they did? They took a page out of a little book. And I'll tell you what that book is. This is the refs. The LeBron treatment. Now, guys, I would never glaze LeBron. I'm very analytical. I'm a very analytical person. I look at his game and I just respect it. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and I'm not just gonna like say, "Oh, LeBron." Sorry, guys. Oh, LeBron. I'm not gonna sit there and just say that, you know, he's the greatest of all time. Even if it may be true, I'm not just gonna sit here and just blindly say that. But LeBron deserves the LeBron treatment. There's a reason why it's called the LeBron treatment. They named it after the GOAT. This Kansas State team did not deserve no LeBron treatment. Guys, oh my God, I need to remind myself. He's in the... All right, guys, we need to move on. But I told you I was going to be analytical, and I'm not a spiteful person. So Kansas State will get an easy win there. Let's move on. Colorado, Drake. Now, this could be an interesting matchup because Drake is looking like a sleeper on both sides, men and women. And yeah, Colorado, I like Colorado because they produced the greatest center that is currently playing in the NCAA. Kylie Blackston. I don't know if you guys have heard of her, but it's not something that's not somebody I would want to rub the wrong way because she can do some damage, guys. 6'3", complete powerhouse. I heard she can dunk. I didn't just hear it. I've seen it. She can dunk, guys. She's like that. And granted, you know, she didn't get there right away. She needed help. She needed like that mentor. She needed to come to West Virginia, find that mentor, and she was finally able to reach her full potential. But obviously, Colorado was the facilitator. So I have a lot of respect for the program over there. But Drake. Who's top 5 you smoking on? Drake. We're riding. And they're going to get absolutely destroyed by Kansas State. So who cares? All right, now, guys. I know what you guys are going to say. But listen, I did the research, okay? Like, this pick, you guys just need to trust me. There's nothing that even has to be said here. There's no research that even has to be done, even though I did it. I did so extensive research, and you guys just have to trust me. Just trust me on this one, because I see the issue is like I can't, sit here because I'm gonna waste your time if I sit here and go through all the numbers because I crunch the numbers. Believe me, I have Excel sheets, pages. But just trust me because I can't show it to you guys, because I actually left it on my other computer, and that's not in the country right now. So yeah, I'll get that to you though. I'll upload that later so you guys can look forward to that. Um, Iowa. Now, listen, guys. I have 2 words. It's time to put them on the wall. Again, the Excel sheets were so thorough that they were able to lead me to 2 words, 2 simple words that told me the outcome of this game. Now, listen, I am being dead serious. I would never just pick Mountaineers because oh, maybe I'm a Mountaineer. I mean, guys, I'm here to provide unbiased commentary, and I just happen to live in Morgantown, so it's just the closest team to me. So it's just the information is readily available. It's like I'm not like like a diehard like Glazer. I'm a really logical West Virginia Mountaineer fan. Now my algorithm produced 2 words, and we're gonna put that on the wall right here. System Hooper. I'm gonna let that sink in. And while you let that sink in, we're gonna go ahead and now listen. There really is nothing more to say here, guys. You can watch my last video because I feel like I covered it pretty well. And obviously, I had a lot more proof, a lot more evidence. If you guys take a look at that, you will clearly see. But again, all pulled from solid hours, days worth of research. Days. Guys, now that I think about it, what has anyone else done this week? Like, I haven't heard anything in the news. Guys, we need to take a sidebar. This really is accomplishment of the week, guys. Sorry, I just had, I'm not trying to like self-glaze or nothing. It's like, it's just I'm being really like analytical. It's like, really, what else has happened? It's only fair because it's only fair. All right, let's move on. Only a really bad team will get swept over 3 games during a season. And the West Virginia Mountaineer women's team is the greatest team in all of women's college basketball, which is what my algorithm told me. I'm not just saying that, it's based on math. So you see, the West Virginia Mountaineer women's team is the greatest team to step foot on any court this season. So something's just not adding up here because 0-2 is already kind of looking a little fishy. And so I'm not saying it's cause for an investigation, but I'm just gonna throw it out there and we're gonna move on. But only a really bad basketball team would lose to another 3 times in a row. And we're the greatest team ever. So guys, you guys see where I'm going here. Like it's all the pieces are connecting right now. And of course. Now listen, let's get serious for a second. Angel Reese. Who has she played against? Caitlin Clark, mid. The rest of the SEC, mid. All right, and we'll call that good. See, she hasn't really had any real competition because you got to understand, like last year, it's like it was basically a cakewalk because what team did they play in the finals? They played, basically nobody. I mean, they were nobodies last year. Caitlin, guys, I'm not even a hater. It's just I sat there and I looked at the facts and I realized it's like people need to just hop off because they're just not seeing it clearly like I am. So LSU is overrated. And so I'm not just doing this because, because oh, I want to push my girls through, because like they're definitely like, this is like, guys, $1 billion, right, is on the line right here. Okay, see, this is happening because I wouldn't lead you guys astray. That's not something I would ever do. It's just LSU is that team, guys. All I'm gonna say is Purdue 2023, 2 times in history, and they're number 2. That's all I have to say. LSU, fraudulent. The West Virginia Mountaineers are coming out of Region 2. I again, I hope that you guys can see that I'm being very, very biased. I'm trying my best right now, guys, to make sure that I am delivering the most accurate content possible right now. So let's just go ahead and move on. We're finally down the home stretch. Now, a 2 and a 2 and an 8 and a 3. Now, obviously, you guys might be looking at this and be like, why does it look so perfect? Because again, my algorithm is just that. It's perfect. Just like, what a talent. Anyways, Notre Dame, Stanford. Guys, you heard me say it before. Stanford is strong. But are they strong enough to finish out? We're going to go ahead and see, because I don't even know. Like, I don't even know who they're going to play at, because I'm going to sit here and I'm going to analyze this matchup, and I'm going to really sit there and think, who is really going to win this game? A basketball team that's ranked 3rd, that makes shots, like wins games, like wins 29 games, like whatever, they're averaging like 22, like, it's like these numbers are just like, they're just okay. Like, that's the thing, is that these aren't really jumping out to me as like championship numbers. Now, here's what you have to understand. See, because like this doesn't really do justice, because you have to understand, this is offense. And you know what our team is? Press Virginia. Should be the only thing that has to be said here. UConn will not know how to behave staring down JJ Quinn. It's just, they might as well just walk into that stadium, sign off for a forfeit. I honestly, it would save them some embarrassment, because like when we beat them by 56 points exactly, like they're gonna have to go into a press conference and be like, and explain that, and like, what are they gonna say? Like, oh my god, like we just couldn't do it. Like JJ was just, because they're gonna have to go and admit, they're gonna have to finally put JJ on the pedestal she deserves, because she's gonna put him in her place. I mean, she'll do that the whole tournament, but UConn needs to look out. I don't think they're looking far enough down the line yet, because think about it. UConn's all the way over here, right? Wherever they are, right here. And see, look at how far they have to go. They have to go through they have to go through ISIS. Guys. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I mean, ISIS, she probably still talks. Get the little scoop. I'm just saying, UConn, I hope you're watching this right now, because I'd watch out. I'd watch out if I were you. I wouldn't sit there and be like, "Oh, what if we have to play Ohio State?" Or, "Oh, what if we have to play USC?" It's like, guys, those aren't even real teams. Like, as far as I'm concerned, those teams don't really play like real. If I could name like one team that I feel like the product that they put out is just the most consistent thing ever, and it's beautiful, it's polished, it works, guys, you have to understand, like, there are certain people that will just go out there and just get things done, and UConn doesn't have any of those on their team. Now, I'm not gonna toot our own horn. I'm just saying, guys, that I think we have a little something that that they should be looking at. They should be paying some attention. Now, I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I said, who are the Mountaineers really? We have a new head coach, a lot of returning people. We have a lot of new people. And you might say that, the odds were kind of stacked against us this season. And what did we do? We rose above that. And we were able to really make history. But the thing about history is that it's never done being written. Now, I would like to take a quick break and introduce our last segment of the day. And that is the quote of the day. Now, if you follow, our women's Instagram page, I live here. I just decided to give them a follow for updates and stuff because, I'm not trying to, it's not like I'm that guy that goes down in every post and comments on it. I'm not doing that, guys. But we need to introduce a little something to the board, and we are kind of running out of space, but we can make some right here. All right, the quote of the day is going to fit right on this beautiful little line. Now, I want to go out there and make history. Of course, this is a quote, so we can paraphrase, and I'm not writing all that, but you guys will get the gist. Make history. Now, if you guys get anything out of this video today, other than the billion, which obviously is coming, you guys got to wait until this all comes to fruition. Anyways, make history. One of these two teams is going to make history, and really, in the end, it's up to who wants it more, who's more hungry, who can fight, who can win, who's a winner, who is the greatest to do it, who's going to get it done. I asked a lot of questions, and you guys think you may know the answer to it, but I'm going to surprise you. I'm really going to surprise you guys right now. Now listen, I know that you're expecting me to make the logical decision, the reasonable decision, but this is the point where I get serious. All right? All jokes aside, all feelings aside. You guys can trust me. $1 billion. It happens right now. It happens right now. Listen. Let's take a moment of silence to really appreciate and absorb all this information. There you have it. The final bracket. $1 billion bracket. I'm glad you guys stay with me. Iowa tomorrow. Let's do everything we can. And I will see you guys in probably about 2 weeks. Like I mentioned, there's going to be some changes. It's going to take me a little bit to get that set up, but I have a lot of stuff lined up already. A lot of exciting things coming. Next video to look forward to, we'll finally get to take a look at our men's team. It's going to be a big project, so keep your eye out for that. Thank you guys for joining, and let's go Mountaineers.